Welcome back and happy Aloha Friday. No short sleeve shirt today with the weather being 14 degrees, feels like 3. It was just hard to get that short sleeve shirt on today. So, um, I hope everybody had a great holiday break, a great new year. I know the New Year's is a time where people like to make big resolutions and big goals, and I'll be honest, that's something that I have found to be not very successful for myself. One thing I've been talking to students about is um, taking real small actions. It's the small things that really matter, in my opinion. And so we talk about how every action you take is a small vote for the type of person that you wish to become. And so a good example might be, I want to be somebody who is healthy and physically fit. So, that small vote might be, instead of grabbing that donut, I might grab an apple or a banana. And when I go home after school, I might go for a walk or a run, because that's what a healthy person would do. And that's the person I wish to be. And so I'm making those small little votes for that. And so, those big resolution and big goals are might work for some people. They just don't seem to work for me or my students. And so I encourage them to rephrase those kinds of things, or making a bunch of little decisions that over time will help them be the person that they want to be. I also sent out some information before break, and you should be getting information through Parent Square about high school scheduling. Now, um, I know high school scheduling is really daunting. It can be really confusing. You're going to be getting a lot of information on it. So, what I would consider is this, again, little small votes, little things to try to do along this path that will ultimately result in the best decisions being made over these next 4 years, these next uh, high school years that are really, really important. And so the first thing that's going to happen is on what's the date on that? So January 13th, there's going to be a early college program up at the high school. Now, it's important to understand that, like, early college pathway versus the honors and AP pathway, and the differences between those. So I really encourage all of my parents, caregivers, and students to take some time to really understand how all that works. And this is the beginning of that process. And there are just many dates that are involved in that. So that program will be the 13th. There will be a online version of that shared if you're unable to make it to that actual meeting. But I actually encourage people to go to that meeting, because it will allow you to ask questions and those kinds of things during that process. And then you'll have about 2 weeks or so to get those applications turned in if you decide that early college is the pathway for you. And then those acceptance letters will come out in early February, and that February will be sending out some more information on scheduling for high school and so on. Basically, we like to have all of this wrapped up by spring break, and so um, again, just try to get all of that information processed. And it's not something you just want to ignore and not take some time to take a look at. As far as what's happening in science, so in science this week, we started back looking at the water cycle. And the way we start the water cycle is to really look at states of matter. So, again, that's kind of the bridge between atoms, in the physical science, and then the water cycle in the earth science realm. That's kind of the connection that we use to bring those together. So, we've been talking a lot about, phases of matter and what the molecules are doing, and when we add energy to that. What do those molecules do? We're taking our first vocabulary quiz uh, uh, today, so Friday. And then next week, we're going to start talking about how then water moves around our planet, moving from different, states of matter and the location of those states of matter. In biology, we started off looking at the cell cycle and mitosis as we start looking at cell reproduction. That is kind of a review of some things that they did in seventh grade, but we go into it in a little bit more depth. Then next week, I hope to get into meiosis towards the end of the week. I have ordered some lab kits to try to do some different labs that will help them visualize some of the things that we're talking about. I'm hoping to get those in, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see how all of that plays out. So that's what's happening in biology right now. Again, as always, I deeply appreciate everything you guys do at home to help support the learning that's happening in my classroom. If you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can post those down below and I'll get those right away, or just simply send me an email. So, again, thank you so much and have a great week.